All right. So I'm Jordan Williams. I spent 6 weeks, 6 amazing weeks at Auburn, Alabama, studying large animal veterinary science. And if you're tired of hearing from vet students, I believe I'm the last one. So this is the John Thomson Veterinary Large Animal Teaching Hospital. This is where I spent all 6 weeks. I worked in the beef unit. But I think in the beef unit, I saw more goats and alpacas than I ever wished to see in my life. And so it was interesting, though. It was good. While I was there, I got to work with three amazing doctors, some of the best veterinarians in the entire United States. Auburn's one of the top 10 vet schools in the country, so it was really awesome. Dr. Misty Edmondson, I was technically her intern, but I think I ended up spending 3 days with her. And then Dr. Benjamin Newcomer, I spent 2 weeks with him, and then finally Dr. Passler here on the bottom, I spent 4 weeks with him. So these are the two barns I was working in. The Carson barn, which is where emergency cases go on, and then the Wolf barn on the other side of that is where they house students. And the way the vet school works, it's just like a normal veterinary hospital. So locals and people from far away bring their animals in to have the clinicians and students assess and diagnose and treat their animals. And that's Emmy. She was a good time when I was there. She's real cute. So this is a common case that I had, I think every day that I was there. This is just a routine foot trim. I saw a lot of these. Ranchers would bring their cows up. In the South, there's a lot of moisture, so their feet get in pretty nasty shape. So they'd put them on this table that puts them on their side, and they just do really quick. It takes like 5 minutes to trim all 4 feet, and then they get them back up and out of there, and it's just nice, quick, and easy. This is a semi-common case. This is a cesarean section on a cow. And you can see the baby laying right here in front of her, or on the far side just laying right down in front of her. This is post-operation. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take pictures of the actual surgery. But you can see the blue drapes there. That's where they're stitching her up after she's all done. And I think I saw 4 or 5 of these while I was there for the 6 weeks, and unfortunately this was the only successful one I saw, but it kind of restored my faith. I think this was my second to last day. Restored my faith in cesarean sections, so it was good. These are 2 really rare cases. On the far side, that's Dusty. He was a show pig that came in, and he was donated to the university to study for educational purposes. He had esophageal ulcers, and so every time he would eat, he would regurgitate his food, and he was losing weight and becoming really, he was just losing a lot of weight. And so this is Dusty after surgery. So he's a little drunkenly and trying to wake up. But what they ended up doing is an endoscopy, and they stuck basically a balloon down his throat and was able, while he was obviously under anesthesia, and they were able to basically inflate the balloon while it was in his esophagus to stretch it out, and now he's making a full recovery and going on to live the normal life of a pig. And this right here is Melissa. When she came in, she didn't have a name, so I did the courtesy of naming her. A normal calf when it is born is about 90 pounds, and Melissa was over a week old, and she was 45 pounds. So she was obviously very anemic, very, very close to death. Her mother ended up having BVDV, which is a pretty serious case for her mother, and her mother was unfortunately had to be euthanized. And so, but when I left, me and Melissa got to leave the teaching hospital on the same day. She was gaining weight and making a full recovery, so that was really cool. This was a pretty major case while I was there. This is case X485. She came in with, or I also named this one, I named her Priscilla. She came in with an unidentified mass. She had a 2-year history of continuous growth. The referring veterinarian was inconclusive and recommended euthanasia. she was donated to the university for educational purposes. She underwent a surgery that took us about 2.5 hours of standing in the surgery suite, so it was kind of exhausting just to stand there. I can't imagine actually having my hands inside. But she was not expected to make it through the surgery, and she pulled through, made it through all the way, and made a successful recovery. And so she's doing good now. She was diagnosed, I don't know if I can say that, a piloma trichoma, which is a benign tumor of the hair follicle. And so that mass was just growing, and for whatever reason, she wasn't brought to the veterinarian before because she had 2 years of continuous growth. So this is my life outside of vet school. I had the extraordinary honor of staying with 3 different host families. So I don't know if this has the pointer. I'm not going to try. So on the far side over there is my first host family. Those are the Powells. They had that cute little dog and 2 kids. They were really amazing. My second host family I don't have pictures of, but the Ostrowskis, they were really amazing. My host mother, I guess you could say, was a doctor at the university. And in the far bottom corner are the Morans, which is who I spent 4 weeks with, and they were really great. Up here you can see I spent a lot of time with them on their pontoon boat every weekend. And next to me on the pontoon boat is their dog Bandit, who every time I left the room and would come back, he would bark at me again. I got to visit the capital of Alabama, so I spent a day in Montgomery. I went to a baseball game with my host dad, and that was really fun. Seeing the capital was really great. So here, these are some vet students I worked with. We would do inventory every day where we'd drive around the vet school and just make sure all the animals were still there and they had run away. And here I have a cow teat after it had been amputated with mastitis. So that's a little gross, so I'm sorry about that. Here for future Pinterns, be open to whatever this internship has to offer you. When I first started with the Pinhead Institute, I told Sarah I wanted to do agriculture sciences, and I was originally signed up to do an internship for beef cattle nutrition, but then at the last minute that fell through. And so I ended up doing veterinary science, which I really enjoyed. And so just really be open to whatever they have to offer, because I guarantee it'll be great. And I really want to thank Sarah, because I definitely was not the easiest intern to deal with. I had a lot of schedule changes and everything like that. Thanks to the Powells and the Ostrowskis and the Morans for being my host family. Thank you to Dr. Edmondson and Dr. Newcomer and Dr. Passler, all for being such great educators. And thanks obviously to all the vet students. I probably learned more from them than from anyone else. So thank you all too.